Hey, folks, and welcome to the Alone Time podcast. I'm Sam, your host, and just wanted to say I know it's been a few days since I posted. I wanted to come right back after the July 4th weekend. Unfortunately, some things came up. Also, needed a little time to recover from the weekend, but I'm here now, and better late than never, as they say. And I hope all you folks had a good time out there, enjoyed your July 4th weekend. Hope it was safe, fun, the food was good, the company was good, the fireworks were good. Hopefully nobody got into trouble. Hope everybody got a little mental break, at least those that were able to. And I know there were some things around the country that kind of didn't go well for everybody. Some real shitty news or shitty events that happened. Some people got into trouble with fireworks, but I'll cover that in my next podcast. I'm going to mainly keep this one light, maybe with a caveat here or there, but overall, let's jump into things. And one of the things I mentioned in my previous podcast that I haven't actually brought back up is I do have a fantasy baseball team, which at the time was doing pretty good. Not so much anymore. As you can see, I'm now on a two-game losing streak. I am the Broken Rubbers. And my logo is what would MacGyver do with a broken rubber. I don't know if I can actually maximize this for you. Let's take a look. I hit at it, nothing happens. CBS doing what it does, which is not being great. But hey, CBS Sports, I should say, maybe CBS itself, I shouldn't really, beat up on too much, although they did just settle that lawsuit with Trump, which was a frivolous lawsuit. They could have definitely won it, but due to some things in the background, them trying to merge, them needing approval from the FCC, I believe, and, Trump appointee in there, it seemed like that was not going to happen unless they did settle the suit. So that is very unfortunate. Paramount having to do that. I believe it was Paramount, but anyway, let's keep moving. But yeah, 2 in a row. I'm still in the playoffs. We have the top 4 teams make it, 1 division winner from each division, which would be 1, 2, and then 2 wildcard teams, which with my point totals at this point in time, I would currently still be a playoff team. Just gotta start winning. This guy is hot on my tail. He would, if I lose this week, he wins. My points don't mean squat, and this is the guy I'm playing, so that would obviously be a big hit for me. Trying to win this week. I'll show you how it's going. As I said, I'm playing with this guy who actually just beat me 2 weeks ago. It's close. Once we get points for quality starts for wins, so as long as this San Fran Philly game basically stays the same, or as long as Philly doesn't lose the 6-0 lead and does win, even if it's 6-5, whatever it may be. I don't think my man Luzardo here is going to be pitching anymore. This should give me another 10 points, 3 for a quality start once he's out of the game, and 7 for the W once the game's over. Again, as long as Philly doesn't lose this lead at any point and actually is able to win. So that'll give me a lead, which is great. It doesn't guarantee anything. This dude's been putting up points. Mr. Devour Faculence, the champs, I believe. This is a reference to an Apple show. Let's see, Devour, Faculence, Severance. Thank you, my friend Google. Apple TV show I do want to at some point catch once we're done with Shameless, me and the wife. I think I've told you guys we do different shows. Shameless, me and the wife. We're on to Better Call Saul with my wife and my son at this point in time. We're almost done with season 3, I want to say. So far, again, the show's still been kind of boring. This is Better Call Saul. Shameless has, been it's seemingly we're I believe in season 3 there as well, maybe season 2 still, but it's a great show up to this point. But I have heard a lot of feedback where it kind of gets repetitive, and I'm kind of starting to see that, but still have not lost interest in it. Just me and the wife really have not had the time. Her work schedule has kind of changed here in the summer, so I don't know when we'll get a chance to get back to it. But I know she's loving it, and we're also watching South Park with me and my two kids. And I love South Park. We're on season 12 already, maybe even 13. We just saw Gayfish, which is probably one of my all-time favorite episodes, if not the all-time favorite episode of mine of South Park. Although full disclosure, the last few seasons, not counting the specials, but the last few seasons I have missed. And also, me and my son have been watching Boondocks, which I've mentioned before. But here we are, again hoping to kind of beat this guy, snap this 2-game losing streak. He's been on fire. I'm going to show you what he's been doing recently. I'll just go recently. I mean, this dude's putting up some monster weeks recently. The last month he's been all over the place. So I salute him. He was actually dead in the water over here at 4-6. We were kind of laughing at him. To be honest, he was making some moves that didn't kind of make sense. Trading future picks for players that didn't really seem to help his team too much. But credit where credit's due. He has been on fire the last month, and even though I still own the most high weeks in the season with 5, more than doubling everybody else. These two, I believe, have been the last 2 weeks, or 2 out of the last 3 weeks. So, yeah, big game. Would love to get off the schneid, as they say, the snide. Snide? Off the schneid, I think. And finally get that win, get back on the winning track. I was doing pretty well here. I'll just show you, and then I'll move on until these last two. I was hot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight with mostly just massive scoring. Outside this one game where I did get lucky. I made some bad moves here, but I ran into an opponent who wasn't putting up points. But yeah, excuse me. The water didn't help as I had hoped. Excuse me again. So yeah, here we are. I'll again, if I don't forget, or if I'm not too disappointed in myself, I'll give you an update on this early next week. Moving on, I do want to discuss Sinners with you. Me and my son watched it. It came out July 4th. I'm pretty sure we watched it either July 4th or 5th. Whatever day it was, but basically right away. And we were both so excited about this. Just the ratings. They have a 7.7 on IMDb. Just 97, 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. So we were excited. That's why we actually watched it as soon as it came out. Not something we always do. Watch a movie as soon as it comes out. Actually, I can't even say we do it that often unless we see the movie in the movie theater. We usually, get to it when we get to it. But this one we were, like I said, super excited. Ran to it as soon as it became available on Max. And I must say, it was a huge disappointment. I mean, these ratings, to me, are false ratings. I've always enjoyed Michael B. Jordan's work. I haven't seen everything he's done. Ryan Coogler, I believe, is the name. I don't want to misstate the good man's name. Let's see. Coogler, I'm sorry, Ryan Coogler has done some great work that I've seen, because I was excited when I saw Delroy Lindo in it, what I didn't know until I actually watched the movie. But super disappointing, kind of boring. They really did not expand on some of the characters. I would have loved to know more about the background of some of these characters. They rushed through Delroy Delroy Lindo's Delta Slim character super quick. You know, I did not understand the relationship between Michael B. Jordan and Yao, who plays Bo Chow, and his wife. You know, it's just very disappointing. I did not feel entertained. Honestly, the vampire stuff was not really that great. Honestly, just the movie was very, very upsetting to me in terms of just how not good it was. You know, again, I'm gonna give some spoilers here, so you know you might want to mute this part. You'll know when I'm done once I click off of these. But yeah, you know, I mean, again, just he goes. You know, they're throwing a party. They're well known. It seems like really antagonists from the past, and they come back to their town. You know, they were working for some Chicago mobsters, and they ran away. Again, why? Or they came back. You know, some people, some characters within the movie actually, you know, hint that they probably did something bad. That's why they're back. And, you know, no details on it. We don't actually know how big their role was with the Chicago mob. We don't know why they're back. We don't know why they, you know, we know why they initially left. You know, they obviously had sights on making it big, making more money than they could in this small town of theirs. But now they're back. They're now using the money. I guess they possibly stole or made. We don't know from Chicago mobsters. They bought themselves a big property where it seems like, you know, they can host parties, kind of host gambling, you know, and kind of give the black community just a place to party, because this is, of course, still the Jim Crow South. And, you know, it's just not too many, at least, again, I don't even know because the movie doesn't really tell me, but it does seem like there's very limited options for the black community to go and relax when they're not working the fields, when you know, of course, they're not doing the whole slave thing. And, you know, one of the things is Omar Benson Miller, who to me is known for 8 Mile, was, you know, the way they go get, you know, they go, again, stuttering over myself, tripping over myself, let me slow down a little bit. But basically, they come back. You know, they start heading. They buy the farm from this dude who plays what we can only assume is a Klan member, even though, you know, he claims that the Klan's not here anymore. When this is who they buy the big warehouse from. He claims the Klan's not here anymore, but you know, it's the Jim Crow South. I didn't really believe him when he made that statement. Just the way he plays the character, which he did a great job. I definitely felt he was some kind of racist, either Klan member or Klan leader. But you know, if not, definitely some kind of racist. The way he was talking to them, even though he calls him boy and he apologizes. Again, it didn't seem very sincere in the movie. But once the transaction's over, Michael B. Jordan plays. He actually plays 2 roles. It's twins. Smoke and Stack. I believe they're the Smokestack twins. And they go to town, start getting ready for the party. That's where they run into Bo Chow and his wife Grace Chow. They are, you know, I guess owners of what seems like grocery stores, but they definitely have some kind of background together, backstory that we never really know. And basically, you know, Michael B. Jordan goes there, arranges for them to come, cook, make signs, you know, do some decorations, and that's, you know, one of the brothers. And the other brother actually goes and is assembling a crew to work, you know, either the door, which is what Cornbread here does, to, you know, for music, which is what Delroy Lindo does, Delta Slim. And they also have with them Miles Caden, who plays Sammy Moore, and Miles Caden is their cousin, their blood cousin, who's you know, also going to be playing his guitar. He's he shows off some of his skills. The music, honestly, for the most part, is amazing. I thought that part was great, but this wasn't a musical, right? This is a movie that's supposed to have a storyline, supposed to kind of expand on the character. There was no character really creation besides Miles Caton. Very little about him. You find out very little about all these characters, of course, but not enough to really kind of kind of hook me in. I wanted to know more. I really wish they expanded that, but the point I was getting to is they go get a cornbread as he's picking cotton, and as far as my understanding of slavery is, hey, you're working on a cotton field, you're a slave, you can't just get up and leave. But hey, I don't remember if it was Smoke or Stack, whoever's recruiting him, kind of says, hey, come work the door for us. You're the bodyguard, and he just leaves his work, hops in the car, and off they go. You know, just weird, strange, and not my understanding of how things worked back then. But maybe. So I'm not gonna nitpick on that too much. And the other thing is, throughout, I feel like a lot of push is being made for me to eat the kitty. You know what I mean? There's a conversation between Michael B. Jordan's character and Miles Caton's character about, you got to eat the pussy. This is how you do it. And then we have who else do we have? I'm sorry. Oh, Haley Steinfeld, who's apparently ex-girlfriend slash ex-stepsister maybe of Michael B. Jordan, because her mother was the one who actually gave, sounded like the doctor, the nurse who delivered both Michael B. Jordan characters, and it seemed like they had a thing before. And one of her comments is like, you weren't complaining when you were eating my pussy or something like that. It's like, a lot of pussy talk, which again I'm not against, but it seemed kind of strange. That seemed like the push. Why are we pushing this? And then later on, when Miles Caton is actually hooking up with, I believe, I want to say it's this lady, Andreen Ward Hammond, Ruthie, who I'm sorry, it was actually Jamie Lawson who plays Perline. She's a singer, married singer, who just bumps into them while they're talking to Delroy Lindo. She claims she's married, but he still invites her to the party, and she's married. She still comes to the party without her husband. Strange singer. Anyway, and then he eats her pussy, and before he does, she talks about, oh, I'm dirty. I just walked in. It was weird. The whole pussy thing, and eating the pussy, and just the infatuation about that in this movie, in this script, was very strange to me. It could have been done better. The whole movie could have been done better, but eventually, we see one of the vampires, or the original vampire at least, because we only see one vampire that's really the original here, and then everybody else kind of is connected to that vampire, so we know why they are vampires. But we see him at some point running to a house in the middle of nowhere, smoke coming off of him, and the house is obvious Klan members. There's you see the hood in the background, the Klan hood. So these are Klan members. They let the white man in, and then he was being tracked. The vampire was being tracked by Indians, who come to the house and say, "Hey, has he been here? He's super dangerous." And the lady who answers the door says, "No, nobody's been here." Obviously, not knowing what's in store for her and her husband. She's not here. I don't really, I don't think it's that important who she was. So I'm not going to keep looking. But it's crazy. We never see those Indians again. They just say, hey, this is a very dangerous person. It's something you want to keep out of your life. It seemed like they were hunting it. Must have been a reason. You would think they would be again featured at some point in the movie. Nope, never see him again. And once the alien, which is Jack O'Connell, alien, look at me talking nonsense. Once the vampire, who I'm pretty sure is Jack O'Connell, converts the other two, they show up to this party that Smokestack twins are throwing, and they try to get in. They use the logic, the vampire logic, that they have to be invited in, which I like that logic. I think it does give the vampires, who seem overpowering in this movie. They can fly. Um, they seem to be able to be pretty strong based on the fight scenes, which take place a little later. So it's great that they have some limits, that they have to be invited in. Of course, as we know, all vampires cannot handle the sun, garlic. They can't handle the garlic. But you can't shoot them to kill them. You have to do the stake through the heart, or burn them with garlic, or the sun. So I'm glad there's some things that they just are not able to overcome, and not be like the most super powerful beings in the world. I, but that that's not a that's not really a positive to the movie. It's just a just a vampire thing, right? Like that's what we know about vampires and how that goes. Anyway, party starts. A little pussy eating, a lot of music, really good music. Even the music that Jack O'Connell Remick plays with the couple that he converted earlier. Um, Very honky, very like old school bluegrass. I want to say it was solid music. Again, can't complain about the music. But eventually, things happen. They realize, hey, something's wrong. Actually, Haley Steinfeld went out to, even though she was told not to do it. White woman, of course. But she was told not to go out. She was told by, I believe, I want to say it's Tanaj Jackson. I'd have to take a look at her picture. So I'm pretty sure it's her. So she plays one of the Smokestack twins' exes. They had a kid. The kid died, but she's also into voodoo. It seems like she's all about the spirits. Um, and I guess once their baby died, maybe that's when their relationship broke. I don't know, folks. Nothing was really explained that far, but I'm just going by what I can understand. They make love. He comes back. They make love. I don't know if she seduces him. He seduces her. Whatever, mutual. But she says, "Hey, those white folks are giving me the creeps. Do not let him in." But Haley Steinfeld, because one of the other Smokestack twins still, I guess, is in love with her, says, "Listen, let me go talk to him. See if maybe we'll let him in if they have money, because I guess the event wasn't making as much money as they thought initially." But and that's explained because, again, there's some folks that just don't have the money. They have wooden coins still back then. Um, but it's their first event. It seems like they're letting it go. Just let our black folks have some fun, enjoy themselves, relax. Even if they don't have the money, or if they don't have enough money, let them relax. So the event, I guess, wasn't going well. They probably were in the red. I kind of lost interest at that point, to be honest with you. At least what was happening with that event. The dialogue wasn't that great. But anyway, she goes out. They show her gold coins, but then they also show her kind of that they're not really there for any good reasons. At that point, she took a gun with her. She said, "Nah, you can't come in," and she starts walking away. And that's when we see the vampires can actually fly. So they come convert her, and at which point she comes in, and because she was welcomed in, because hey, why wouldn't she be welcomed in, right? Even though she's already been in there, they welcome her back in. And at that point, she takes her smokestack twin that she loved before. They fuck, and that's when she converts him into a vampire, runs off, and then that's when all the fighting happens. And they fight. They don't let anybody in. Bo Chow goes out to get the car, even though, again, makes no sense. You know what's going on. Why would you go outside? Kind of stupid, but he goes in to get the car to never return. They threaten their kid. She stayed there, and they threaten her kid. She says, no, no, not my kid. They know it because the vampires seem to know everything about Chu. At that point in time, they're able to share information, whatever it be. And she just can't take it. And I understand. Listen, as a parent, I understand it's a serious worry. I don't want him to go get my kid. So she kind of invites all the vampires in, and at that point the fighting starts, and somehow Michael B. Jordan, Miles Caden, the Michael B. Jordan that wasn't converted yet, Miles Caden, are able to fight him off. Really, the vampire really wanted Miles Caden for his musical talents. I believe the story in the movie is the music allows them to bring back, the dead or something of that sort. Anyway, they defeat him, luckily, and end of the story, right? So at that point, Miles Caden goes back to his town, and that's how the movie actually begins, with him coming in with a huge scratch on his face, full of blood. He comes back. It goes back to Michael B. Jordan, and at that point, my man over here, Dave Hogwood, comes back, and it's mentioned, at some point in the storyline that he is the clan leader, and you see him coming back, and it's already day, which is crazy. They're coming in during the day. When the party's either let out or, letting out, you probably don't have as many people. Why not come during the night when there's this party going on to get, the most amount of kills? You're the clan, right? Your plan, your goal is to kill as many blacks as possible. African Americans, however you want to, I don't want to sound racist. Either way, they're coming back, is the day, and Michael B. Jordan is just hiding in the bushes, snipes some dudes, kills the rest. He's just like all of a sudden now like this unkillable force, but he does somehow get shot in the stomach. Doesn't do anything about the wound, doesn't tie anything, doesn't put pressure on it, lets himself bleed out. And basically, as he's dying, he sees Beatrice over here, who was, of course, killed by the vampires. And he sees her and their dead baby. And anyway, holds the baby before he dies, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, there was only one good thing about this movie, and it's the end. It goes forward to 1993. Now, originally it's set in like the 30s, I want to say. I don't know if I'll be able to find that. I would think it would be somewhere, but either way, like 30s or something like that. Again, Jim Crow era. But now we fast forward to the 90s. We see somebody who looks like Sammy Moore, Miles Caden, because they have the scar on their face, now playing at the club. Living their life, and they're done. They sit down, have a drink. It seems like they owned the club at that time. Bouncer comes, says, "Hey, I got folks here. We're closed, but I got folks here offering like $1,000 to come in." He lets them come in, and it turns out to be Michael Jordan and Haley Steinfeld. And that part was actually great. I love that ending. It was well done. It was interesting. And the only thing that kind of killed it for me is they play like a montage of, the back then. And, that kind of ruined it a little, but still great ending, that part. Rest of the movie, terrible. I would not recommend it. I would say stay away from it. Personally, not a movie I would ever watch again. I do not know why it's so highly rated. Just one man's opinion, honestly. I'm a fan of Michael B. Jordan. Generally a fan of Ryan Coogler. I haven't seen all his work, but the stuff I have seen, I've really had no issues with. Um, so this was very disappointing. Very disappointing. I hated it. I hated to see that. And it's actually crazy to see he has a 4.3 here. He has a lot of fours. Anyway, that's my review of Sinners. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Now, I just want to. Sorry about that. I want to give you the link of the day, which is going to be a little bit gory, but this is just something that we need to be aware of what's going on in the world. I think just something to be aware. And this is a whole story of how the Russian soldiers treat Ukrainian soldiers. This dude obviously was caught up, probably abused, tortured, and the Ukrainian rallying cry is victory, glory to Ukraine. So the Russian soldiers decided to carve glory to Russia on this man's abdomen here, along with visibly other atrocities, and who knows how many unspoken or invisible atrocities. It's a good read. I'm gonna link this. I want you guys, if you're interested, take a look, just to see what's going on in this world and the war that was supposed to be finished in one day once President Trump took office. Now, of course, we're cutting off weapons to them and then giving it back. Just a lot of real nonsense going on and just a lot of, I don't know, just a lot of concerning things going on with the way this war has been treated and the way just Russia and Ukraine have been treated, considering the aggressor and the kind of the victim here. But I'll link that for you guys. If interested, please do give it a read. It's a good read. And my song of the day, I know I usually give you a song of the day. I want to give you two today. It's Big Yabo, Webby Flow, which amazing. This is what I've been really blasting for, I don't know, at least a few weeks at this point. But he also dropped an album. Again, I don't know if Webby Flow's on that album, but I know the song Faking the Funk is on the album. Big Yabo, give him a listen. Faking the Funk, Webby Flow. I'm going to link both of these. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Take care, guys.